Hi, everybody. This is Laura from Laura Shoesmith, and welcome to my second video. Want to talk a little bit about my upcoming October 4th start date of Surrendering to the Dreamer Within. It is 9 weeks on several different topics that can lead us to a place of peace and higher amounts of energy freed up from needing things to change or working things out so that we can contribute to the collective evolution of everyone. So last week I did a video on acceptance, and this week I wanted to do a video on inclusion. I remember once, many years ago, 29 years ago, I went through a really difficult experience, and I didn't understand why I would have to go through such a thing. And I remember I was at a meditation workshop in Lake Ontario with a group of great friends and leaders. And I asked the leader of the workshop, why did I have to go through that experience? And she said to me that going through that experience changed the legacy that I could leave behind. And that sentence changed my world in that I understood the sacredness of every experience. Like, because of that experience, I was different. And that what I could contribute and what I would contribute and what I will continue to contribute is different because of that experience. And so it would change a legacy, and we all have legacies. Including every experience is something that nobody really talks to us about here. The second experience I had about the difficulties about including all things as part of the natural unfolding journey of a lifetime was watching the leader of a country gas innocent children with neurological gases. And I, by accident, saw the children dying on TV, and I didn't know what to do with it. I ran outside my backyard. I lived in the woods at the time, and there was a lot of trees. And I just screamed into the woods, screamed, fell onto my knees, screaming. And when I came back into my home, I called somebody that I haven't spoke to in a long time, a fabulous coach, one of the very first coaches I ever hired, about 16 years ago. And she is the sister of the creator of the coaching school that I went to. And bonus, when I called her, she just so happened to be at the home of the people that created my coaching school, Henry and Karen. And so as I was speaking to this woman, I said to her, what do I do with this? What do I do with what I just saw? What do I do with this? Like, I'm on fire and I don't know what to do or how to be next. And the answer was to include it. That when we are with immense tragedy, unspoken stuff that just seems like, how do I move on from here? The response is to include it. And so I didn't really quite understood exactly what that meant at the time, but fast forward several more years, about a decade, and I've had other experiences, and we've all had experiences lately that we don't want to necessarily include in our lifetime. Like, COVID, the planet being on fire, climate change, inadequate leadership, racism, sexism, nationalism, anti-immigrants, not accepting people for who they are and their preferences regarding sexual orientation. We have so many limitations here right now, it seems like. And I think that as a meditation teacher, one of the things for me to express is the ability on how we could include it all and see it as an evolutionary pathway to bring us to a bigger place than we've ever been before. So I know that you might feel isolated and that you worry sometimes about your health or the health of your loved ones, or you might get anxious about how your grandchildren or great-grandchildren will be able to be here on this planet. And I know that there looks like there's a lot of things that we need to do in the outside world to make things different, from A to Z. But as a meditation teacher, from the perspective of meditation and philosophy, what I know for sure is that the work begins with you. And there's nothing you really must do on the outside of you. It's more of the work that is calling for us to do within, to sit within, to see every experience we have had as a collective or personally, not as on a linear timeline from birth to death, but as a swirling lifetime of experience, 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 going outside that swirl. And that when we look at any experience, we can see the natural evolution of our lives and how every experience, no matter how hard or how beautiful, has brought us to this outside rim of this beautiful blooming flower, so that we can see that everything we've been through has led us perfectly to right here and right now. And the more capable we are of not resisting, but embracing what is, especially the difficult things, then the more capable we are to be within the shadows of ourselves and within the horrors of the outside world, or of the desires or the longing for belonging seen in another person's eyes. So I am grateful for all of the things that we're going through right now. I can include my human doer, but right now what I feel like is being called is including the human being that lives right here within me, to collaborate with the beingness and the energetics of totally accepting and including everything that is, so that I can get clear on all of the opportunities and all of the options, with all of the events and the circumstances surrounding the events bringing me information to see what wants to emerge next for us. One last thing before I go with this video is the being that I'm speaking of, the human being that I'm speaking to in the beautiful, quiet spaces of a meditation, is not this human being that has flesh and bones. It's the being that lives within you, that's always been there, that was here before you came into the body that you're in now, is breathing within that beautiful body you have, and that will continue to live after your body is no more. That being is not contained by a body or a lifespan. It is infinite and limited, and that is your true nature, and that is who I am speaking to. Being to being, pure, infinite, no birth, no death aspect of self that can take all of the experiences that we have in this lifetime and see the perfection and collaborate with all of it. Because the next part of this life that we're experiencing here, something's calling us that's so big, bigger than we could ever imagine. So I want to invite you to get quiet each day for 30 minutes or maybe an hour and listen to what's inside, listen to the collective energy of source, listen, get clear, know your truth, and be the change that you wish to see in the world. I hope you join me. I hope to see you there. Again, it starts October 4th, www.thedreamerwithin or www.laurashoesmith.com. Feel free to contact me with any questions. Namaste. May you have a beautiful evening. Bye-bye.